And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 162 of Rope and Oak Boxing. But the two Daves are back to give you a bit of a review from all the weekend's action. Where's my little thumbnail? If you're new to the channel, there we go. Well, I think let's press it harder. There we go. Is it coming up?
No.
Nothing's coming up. Please like, share, and subscribe. I don't know what's happened there, ladies and gentlemen. Is it trying to tell me something? I don't know. Anyway, minor-ish technical issue there. Start the fucking week off. Well, let's say start the week off. It's bloody Wednesday. So I haven't really spoke to you over the weekend, mate. How the devil are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. What did I do? Friday, I got pissed. Saturday, I worked. And Sunday, I nearly died. Well, I was on the motorway and I had a blowout on the...
Oh, yes, you did put something on WhatsApp. Yes, sorry.
So I dropped a mate of mine to the airport. He was going on holiday, so I picked him up at 5 a.m. and drove him to the airport. And on the way, just as I dropped him off on the way back, I felt something on the back of my... I thought, what's that noise, that sound? The next thing, bang! Tire blew. So at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm on the side of the road. Got the AA out. They took an hour and a half. Fucking frozen. Because I didn't plan on getting out the car. I was basically just put through tracksuit bottoms over what I wore to bed. You know what I mean? So I had a little bit of a hoodie, but it's fucking hell, -3 on the motorway. And I obviously, usually, as you know, I used to be a white van man, so I was a prick when it came to being in a car on the road. 3 times they drove past me beeping, beep 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 beep, but probably shouting, "You can't park there, mate," and all that. The cunts. So
that was right when you used to do it, but when they're doing it, it's like...
I laughed and waved because I thought
Eddie Hearn, double standards. Anyway,
yeah, I laughed because I would have done it as well. So I sort of waved, "Go on, boys!" I was loving it, but I was fucking frozen. So so my tire blew out. So that was about as exciting as it got for me, mate. What did you get up to?
I was going to say, it just sounds like you're more concerned about being frozen than actually being brown bread.
Well, it was cold, and I took a picture. When you do your hoodie up on the string, you all just knows that was me on the side of the motorway.
You're like a road man on the side of the road.
I was, yeah. But no one came to help me, bastards.
Well, you're right now, mate. So that's all that matters.
I am, yeah.
That's all right, yeah. It took me. We didn't record on Monday or Tuesday. To be fair, I was out Monday, not all night. I wasn't back till just before 9 o'clock, so it was a bit late to do the podcast. But I didn't feel like it anyway. It's taken me now. We've had the discussion about 104 times, probably more because we've been going for 162 episodes. It's taken me 2 or 3 days to recover day from drink. I felt that bad. All I wanted to do was sleep. I still had school runs and bits and bats to do around the house. I just couldn't get up for it. I felt like shit. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I knew I had things to do, but I just can't. I got no motivation to do anything. When you're under influence still of alcohol. I took the lad to school on the Monday, still pissed. I still felt pissed. Can't wait to get back to bed. I'm gonna have to change something in my life. I think
you'll have social services coming around your house if they're listening.
Yeah,
to
exactly. I'm gonna have to change something in terms of because I had no sleep. And then I'm drinking. I'm making up for the. So I had nothing to drink all week, which is good for me. I normally have a couple of tomorrow's Thursday. I normally have like a couple of glasses of wine or a couple of beers while I'm cooking and things like that. I haven't touched anything. But when it comes to Sunday, I kind of make up for the whole week and go whole hog on no sleep. And this is like from lunchtime all the way through. So I didn't get home till 1:45 Monday morning, and it's
cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of like.
You're not going to stop drinking. Let's get it straight.
I know. I know, but I need to calm things down because I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm not enjoying even though it sounds crazy, ladies and gentlemen, the hangover. Sometimes, like when we were younger, it only takes a couple of paracetamol, bit of fried food, a couple of cans of Coke, cup of tea, and I'm done. I'm away again. It's taken me now. We're Wednesday, and I'm just about recovered.
So, did you blow me out on Monday because you was hungover? Is that what we're saying?
That and I was out, so I wasn't back till like just before 9 o'clok. So it's a bit late.
Fair enough.
To do a bumper episode. Tuesday yesterday I was at training, so it was a rush to fit everything in. But what we're up to now, 7:30, so we've got a good hour before I've got to fuck off to work. So let's jump straight in with the boxing. As it worked, there we go. I don't know what's up with that other banner. Very, very strange. I was listening to you there, but I was fucking around with it. No idea. Right. Nearly a TKO for TKV. Yes, I'm talking about Frazer Clarke versus Jeamie TKV in Derby. First fight on the BBC. We'll talk about the BBC's coverage in a bit. For the vacant British heavyweight title. No, it's gone off again. I don't know what's happening there. I have to have a look at this. Doesn't matter. We know we're talking about that particular fight. Let's jump straight into it, Matt. I'll just give a gambit there of what it was about. I was disappointed with Frazer Clarke. I've got to be honest.
Oh, mate.
Disappointed in his performance. I chose that fight over the Ben Whittaker fight, which we'll elaborate on in a bit. Nothing wrong with the fights. You know, it was messy at times. It was slobber knocker at times. It was holding at times. It was boring at times. It was okay. It wasn't the best British fight, but it was good enough to get some kind of entertainment value out of it. I said last week on the pod, and we kind of agreed, and other people and other podcasts and media outlets have kind of said the same. I thought Frazer come out fast, which he did, and kind of not as much go back to his amateur style, which going forward in the fight, I think he needed to. I think it could come a kind of use his, create a bit of distance, use his range, few jabs, and then kind of jab his way in and go bang, look for the right hand, bang.
Yeah.
Like he said, I've got this kind of new 2.0 version now where I'm getting too old to start fucking about, go in there, seek and destroy, smash my opponent up. And let's be totally honest, I think Jeamie TKV was a heavy underdog, and most people thought he was going to get either beat easy on points or knocked out or stopped. Yeah. And it just wasn't the case. I just find it a very strange game plan, Dave, that he rushed in, threw a few hooks, don't get me wrong, and he was just happy to kind of let himself kind of rest on Jeamie TKV's chest, and that kind of played into Jeamie TKV's hands because he came out every round, threw a jab out to set, just kind of use it as a range finder and also set Frazer Clarke off. Then he would throw a big right over. And as he came over, he would plant his head onto Frazer's chest, and it played into his hands because he's got this strange kind of style, which actually worked. And it actually worked against David Adelaide. You've actually seen his kind of movement and his style and his silhouettes, what he does. He leans on his chest, but he creates enough kind of, it creates an area of space where he's able to elevate his uppercuts and his hooks to be effective and clean. And he was doing that all night, and it just played into Frazer's hands. Very strange game plan. Didn't get it in front of his home fans. Didn't perform. Should have been stopped. It was gassed after 3 rounds. Dave, what the fuck went wrong? Very disappointed from Frazer.
I think it was an awful performance. Like I said, in last week's episode, I said I favoured, and I'm sure everyone else did. I don't think many people would have gone for TKV, but we favoured in every aspect that Frazer Clarke was better than TKV. He's better pedigree, better jab, better footwork, better movement. And I didn't actually see it being, I would say, I imagine it would be a tough fight, but I thought he would come through it well. And he did the complete opposite. He fought TKV's fight, tried to fight on the inside through the whole fight, didn't give himself any type of distance to work off the jab. And it was just for me. It didn't seem like he had any type of game plan. It didn't look like he had any sort of thought of what he wanted to do per round. Where this round I'm going to box on the back foot, throw a jab, and work my way in, bit of head movement. It was just the same old thing. And TKV was winning the fight. Like, don't get me wrong, Frazer Clarke had success in the early rounds that you could probably give him, but like you said, after round 3. TKV didn't really look like he was out of breath. For me, he done the rounds well. He did have a game plan. He plays to his strengths. I've never been a massive fan of him, but this is a massive scalp for him. But I've never been a massive fan of his style. I've seen him a couple of times, and I've never thought much of it. For me, he's beatable anyway, regardless of what happened in this fight. I still believe that. But he plays to his strengths, and his strength was working on the inside and pulling you into a dogfight. He's a tough lad, TKV. I'll give him that.
But didn't you think it was strange? Frazer kind of ran out the traps. So every time after each round, he would walk directly to him rather than kind of use that amateur style, if you like, that kind of point score your way into landing that big right. He just walked straight. He was quite happy to let TKV and himself lean up against his chest and have a little bit of an inside fight, which he lost every time. I thought that game plan or that idea was wrong. Something's not right there, and I'm not making any excuses, Dave. He looked in fantastic shape. He looked very lean. Maybe that's half the problem. Jeamie TKV, like you said last week, he looks overweight, but he done the 12 rounds fantastically. Yeah, he did. He talked a good game during going into it, Frazer. He was in the best of health. He was talking about what he's going to do. Now he's at 34, elevate himself up to world level. But it just didn't happen on the night for X, Y, Z.
It didn't deliver. No. It didn't deliver. Like I say, he didn't come out there then try and change it up. Like, there was points in that fight. He must have known that he wasn't winning, and he didn't try to do anything different. He tried to dogfight his way to victory, but in that he wasn't winning them exchanges. Like you say, TKV was going in on his chest, taking a slight step back to give himself enough room to work to the body. And his work was clean and effective. You could see he didn't waste a lot, TKV. He really didn't. So the thing is, like I say, it's a real good win for him. And like I say, no one expected it. And fair play. Listen, like I say, his tactics worked. He had a game plan. He was, for the way that they both look, he was the fitter of the two. I messaged you at round 4 and said, Frazer Clarke's gassed. And there's some real issues there with Frazer Clarke. I honestly don't know where he goes from here. Like I say, going back to the Fabio Wally first fight, fantastic fight. Look what Fabio Wally's gone on to go and do. And in the second fight, it happens. But this was the chance to really kick on now and start again. And it's a devastating defeat for his career, for me. I honestly struggle to see where he goes from here. Like I say, there was no plan A, there was no plan B. He just thought he'd go in there and dog walk TKV down, and TKV, that's his game. So he played into his hands, and he didn't do anything different. He should never have been let out in round 11 for me.
Oh yeah, that mate, that's got to be spoken about. I've heard so many different people saying so many different things about it. He was out on his feet. He was vacant. He was gassed.
He wasn't answering back.
No, he wasn't answering back. TKV kind of fell on the floor because Big Fraze fell on top of him to kind of give him some seconds. The referee there, I mean, people talking about the corner work, and I agree. The corner work should be better. They should not have let him out round 12 whatsoever, because this is heavyweight boxing. Anyway, no, this is boxing. One shot could change your life. The referee's got a duty of care as well to the fighter. I think we're all sitting in our armchairs watching that thinking, you've got to stop it. Don't care if it's a British title fight or not. Stop the fucking fight. He's getting battered. He's getting pounded. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. That needed to be stopped. You know, we've already seen what's happened to Big Fraze. He's always had a life-threatening injury. You know, when his face was caved in, we all thought he had a stroke. We don't want to see it again. So I thought that was kind of poor from the corner, and I actually thought that was poor from the referee as well, you know. But Jeamie TKV just said there is very beatable. You look at the state of his face after. Frazer had a lot of success, but he didn't have as much success in the fight. According to Terry O'Connor, which needs to be investigated as well, he had to fight 115 to 113 to Frazer Clarke. That means he gave him 7 rounds.
Yeah.
I had it the other way. I had it 7-5 in favour of TKV. Yeah. Actually, it was a good argument for 6-4 based on what you're looking for. You know?
Yeah.
Another shit score from Terry O'Connor, but hey ho, the right man did win.
He did win, and a lot of it's engine as well. For me, he doesn't do the rounds well. Frazer Clarke, he never has. Like even in the first Fabio Wally fight, Fabio Wally was gassed as well, so it made for the fight that it was. But he doesn't do the rounds well for me, Frazer, and I don't know whether he came out on emotion because there was a bit of needle in the lead up to it, where he thought I'm going to come out early and blast him out. But like I say, it was just all wrong. It was all wrong. And like I say, listen, everyone likes Frazer, you know, but this has been really detrimental to his career because I mean, you would, like I say, before this, we looked at TKV and thought this is winnable for him. I thought he would be better in every department, and it turned out he wasn't. And and no disrespect to TKV. And listen, British title is fantastic. You know, for him, it's fantastic. But Frazer Clarke, for where his aspirations are, he should have made mincemeat of TKV, and he hasn't. So I honestly don't know where he goes.
Yeah. I was listening to Talk Sport the other day, and it pains me when people call for people's retirement. What right do you have to tell somebody that they can't box anymore? Let's get it right. These are the same kind of people and pundits that didn't want to see Derek Chisora around a ring ever again. And these are the same people that are now talking about who's he going to fight for his 50th fight. Talk about fickle. I've said this before. Sport fans, box fans are fickle. So no, he should not retire. If he doesn't want to retire, if he's fit and healthy and he passes all his medicals and he's allowed to have a British Boxing Board of Control license, keep going. But what you're saying, where does he go in terms of getting up to the top table? I think the top table's a million miles away for Big Fraze at the moment. It really is. But it's not over yet. He was obviously gutted. Ben Shalom said in the week that he's taken his defeat very, very badly. So you probably won't see him again now until he resets and goes over what happened, and maybe he might switch his team. Maybe not. He might for other options. Maybe he might go to the States. I don't know. But there is routes back for him. You've only got to go down a Jordan Thompson or a Tommy Welch like we saw the other day, Richard Rappaport at heavyweight. Get some rounds in, get some confidence back, get a knockout in, and then you can jump straight back in. It's just a shame that it was on the BBC, and obviously they are struggling for money. Boxer, it kind of looked like, and they've only got a select kind of fights. He could have been the kind of the face of Boxer, the face of the BBC. He went drastically wrong, and I hope to see him back soon. But Jeamie TKV, fair fucks to him. The sound bites now and the catchphrases of Dave Allen. That's a fantastic fight. Dave Allen, he's back in the momentum, irrelevant of losing to Makhmudov. He wants that British title fight. Eddie Hearn and Ben Schlom are going back, bitching, etc. But do you know what, mate? Why not do Jeamie TKV? If there isn't enough money in the pot and if Uncle Turkey's not involved, then why would he for this level of a fight? Put him in against Richard Rappaport. We just seen Rappaport calling for British opponents. Put that as a main event on the BBC. Ben's just said he's got one event every month on the BBC. Yeah. Why not? Richard Rapport's just coming off a win. He's calling domestic opponents. Jeamie TKV, he's on the crest of a wave, if you like. Yes, he lost to Adelaide, but he was winning the fight. It was only on a kind of technicality that he did lose. Why not? Joe Joyce, Dave Allen, Hughie Fury, we're going to talk about in a bit. There's lots of options now for Jeamie TKV. Is he going to win a world title? Yeah. Who knows? I don't think he will. But, he's the one that won the fight on a Saturday night, and he's the one now that should be going on to bigger and better things. If it goes down to meritocracy anyway,
Yeah, like I say, absolutely. And listen, you got to give Jeamie TKV his flowers. Definitely. He was the underdog. He had a game plan. He stuck to it, and fair play to him. And listen, he gets the spoils. British titles a fantastic belt, and fair play to him. And listen, he moves on. And there's names now, but names he's going in with. So, like you said there, he was in with Adelaide in his fight before. No one was really saying too much about it. Goes in with Frazer Clarke. Now he's the man that people were calling out. Listen, 2 fights ago, Dave Allen wasn't mentioning TKV. He was mentioning Deontay Wilder. Yeah. So like you say, it's a funny old game. And fair play to TKV. Frazer Clarke needs to go back to the drawing board, and time is not on his side. So I do worry for him. Yeah, back to the drawing board. I think that's a good way to end it, mate. For Big Fraze. I don't know what's going on with this computer today. Because I'm getting the old the notes up, if you like, on the screen, the ticker, but it disappears. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's watching can see I've written here now. It's gone again. $1 billion performance. Before people kind of come at me, I don't mean it was a world-class performance. It's a bit of a pun, if you like, because $1 billion baby, Fran Hennessy, her biggest step up, if you like, in a professional career against Fabiana by Chi. It was by Chi, by the way, not Chi. Big Mo was in attendance, wasn't he, on the doing the MC, and it was by Chi. 100 to 90 shutout on all 3 cards. Come out the little dance with cheerleaders. That's become her thing. She gets some people get some stick for it. Yeah. I hate Twitter at times. I really do. It's a good platform when you're trying to build your podcast and interact with boxing fans. But let's be honest, there's some fucking cunts out there that's spiteful. They're just really spiteful. I just don't get it. Let her do her thing. She's not harming anybody. That's part of the Fran Hennessy kind of act, if you like. She came into the ring, and let's talk about the boxing. By Chi, as we know, she's been a world champion. She's danced at the top table. She's got a good boxing style. Very kind of disciplined, straight up, looks for her shots. But the movement, Dave, of Fran Hennessy on Saturday was fantastic. She just couldn't get into range at all. There was loads of different shot selections from Fran Hennessy. There was hooks, there was uppercuts, there was movement. By she could not cut the ring off whatsoever. It was a shutout, and I was very impressed. And she was actually showboating as well. She's come up with this new kind of punch, hasn't she? It didn't come off. It might do. Who knows? But hopefully it doesn't kind of like backfire on it. The Jack in the Box punch, where she she kneels down on the floor and she jumps up like a Superman punch in a kind of like a off the floor rather than a jumpy one. I thought she was really, really good, mate. I was very impressed. I backed the Czech girl to win. I thought it'd be a step too far at this stage of her career. She's proved me wrong. She looked absolutely fantastic. Fair play to Fran Hennessy on Saturday night. Punch perfect performance, mate. On a good platform. We talk about Big Fraze and what he should have done for the BBC. She's put her name out there to a load. I don't want to do disrespectful casuals, people that wouldn't usually watch boxing. I've just watched it. She's put on a show. Yeah, listen, the ring walks. Well, I'm not a massive fan of ring walks. I'm a very Mike Tyson-esque sort of thing where you just walk in with a black pair of shorts on and a towel on your head, and let's go. But listen, you've got to sell yourself. You've got to sell yourself. So
definitely,
there's people are slating her for that. That's okay, because no, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, don't need to get personal.
That's the only thing with Twitter is that yes, it's the home of free speech, but it's a cesspit for people to be able to talk shit.
It's not though. It's not the home of free speech, but that's a conversation for a different podcast.
Oh yeah, but But no, go back to the boxing, mate. I thought it was a fantastic performance. I loved the lateral movement from the footwork, the fast hands. And I also liked that she done it for 10 rounds. She didn't go off the gas. Punch selection was great. Three punch combos as well, and landed all of them, stepping in and out. And an opponent. I'm not even going to try and say her opponent's name.
By Chi-Chi. It's quite easy actually. Yeah.
By Chi-Chi. Just couldn't get near her. And then in the end, she's not cutting off the ring. She's just trying to follow her around the ring. But in that, she's getting caught on the way in. Got a couple of shots in, but Fran Hennessy was back on her again. Like just subtle movements, but she's got lovely head movement. Fran Hennessy as well. It's very compact, and for me, it was a fantastic performance, mate. I loved it.
Offsets everything by Chi-Chi was trying to do with the lateral movement and the feints. It was fantastic. She
set her stall straight from the start as well, though. Straight out the traps. Established a jab. A lot of it. By Chi-Chi had obviously a high guard, so she had to try and get her hands down. So she was going to the body, then going to because a lot of the jabs were just to the gloves in the first couple of rounds, just trying to get her guard down. She was very cautious by Chi-Chi, to be fair to her, but that was good because obviously Fran Hennessy, then you could see the shots that she's working on because she's trying to get that guard down. So she's going to the body, throwing 3-punch combo, uppercuts, and she's ran off the whole repertoire. I thought it was a really, really good performance against a credible opponent. People are going to go and shit on the opponent because it's been a shutout. But no, if you look at the record, and we did last week, listen, like you said, you tipped her to get beat. And I thought it'd be a very close fight, and she made it look easy. So, fair play to her, man. She's very, very good. Very good.
What about the Jack in the Box punch? If it works, it looks $1 billion. If it doesn't, she's going to get the trolls come all over her.
If she knocks someone out with it, it'll be viral over everywhere. But
definitely,
it'll be a punch from the gods if she does.
Yeah. She's 21 now, undefeated, getting better, very likable. She's becoming a little bit of a fan favorite. She's on mainstream TV on the BBC, like you said. She was forced to call out opponents at the weekend in a post-fight interview. She called out Shannon Courtney, which I said last week is the perfect kind of matchup. If you like, Shannon Courtney's coming back now. She's with MVP. She put something on her Instagram post on the actual Saturday night after she called her out, saying an offer has already been made, and it's kind of like it's not enough. It's not good enough. To be fair, I do like Shannon Courtney. She was the kind of girl before Fran came along. Don't get me wrong. I said last week the face of boxing. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean like Shields or Katie Taylor. She had a very sellable market in the UK and in boxing because she's very attractive, a bit like Ebony Bridges, and got a world title shot when she probably didn't deserve it. And obviously she's been used to a kind of certain amount of money, and she is very remarkable still. She's fallen off now. She's making her way back. But let's be honest, me and you talk about this all the time, Dave, about girls that can't get fights. And if you're going to start pricing yourself out against someone like that, that's up and coming, she can put herself back on a pedestal, Shannon Courtney. She I'm not saying she should fight for a pittance. Nobody's saying that. But whatever offer it is, if you're an ex-world champion for whatever it's worth, if you think you're good enough and you've got the skills to pay the bills, to beat Fran Hennessy, and you're struggling for work already under a new banner in MVP, who doesn't look like you're on Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua undercard. I hope you do, but it doesn't look like you're on there. Take the fucking fight, man. Get yourself on the beam, go to war with Fran Hennessy, and put yourself back out there. Girls don't get the opportunities. All the girls we have on there, don't like the Irema Dolans and Sylvia Douglas and Jasmine Sabatocha, they're in a lighter weight class, and they haven't boxed at the highest levels or won the world title like you have. They would fucking bite your hand off to have a fight like that on mainstream TV. Yes, 100%. I know you've had a better career, or you're more people know about you, but that was then. This is now. Get yourself back into it. Take the fucking fight, man. That's people would listen to this and watch this, goes, it's only women's boxing. I care. That's the fight I want to see next, because I think the bantamweight, British bantamweight belt is vacant at the moment, Dave. And predictions going forward, there's only one girl that's going to be up for that one, will be TMA Ayton. Now that's my opinion, that's my thoughts. You stay away from her if you want. If you're trying to build, you kind of stay away from her. If you want to take the fight, see how good you are, vice versa, fucking go for it. I love girls and men that just want to test themselves against the best. But if you're invading that and you're calling out Shannon Courtney, it's the next fight, especially on the BBC when you're trying to build the brand, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Fran Hennessy versus a tin can, no one cares. Against Shannon Courtney, when that name is, Shannon Courtney, she's back. She's fighting against, the $1 million baby, does all the dancing. I've got to see that. I've got to tune in for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, they need each other as well. I think so. The women's we speak about is not stacked, so they need each other. So they need to, create beef, shout
Or
each other's
Ebony
names
Booty,
out.
Dave. Or
Yeah,
Ebony Booty.
they're all back. But yeah, but like you say, Shannon Courtney was a world champion, a couple of years ago. Prior to that, she would have been fighting every single week, given the chance. And like you said, there, the female fighters we have on there don't get the opportunities. And again, time's not on anyone's side, and women are not active enough. So if an opportunity comes up, you've got to take it, win, lose, or draw. Because even if either one of them lose, they can always come back. There's plenty of opportunities to. Yeah. It's not like the men's where if you lose, the long road back. There's not really with the women's because of the pool. So you can afford to lose to each other. No one wants to, but you can afford to, and rebuild.
What did you make of the BBC coverage? I think it's getting. I'm not a fan of the BBC, but that's for political reasons. When it comes to sport, they can't really do much to that. I think some of the opinions and I've heard. I'm not about the Twitter trolls. People like you respecting the trade. Are kind of like poo-pooing it. They haven't been in boxing for 20 years. So there's going to be hiccups and there's going to be certain presenters that say the wrong thing at the wrong time and things like that. But we watch boxing week in, week out. Yeah. We can point every week to shit bit of commentating from Golden Boy cards, empty seats at top rank cards, over the top or rubbish commentary from Matchroom cards. Come on, give them a fucking break. You're just moaning for the sake of moaning. Yes, it wasn't a sellout, but neither was Birmingham the other night. There's black curtains all over the fucking shop. Come on, let's be a bit sensible. Let's appreciate it for what it was. Did the main event deliver? Yes and no for X, Y reasons. Did Fran Hennessy put on the shows for you to get excited for? Me and Dave think so. So come on, just give them a chance. It's 1 a month. If you can't see any improvements from going forward in 2026, fair enough. They need to do better. But I thought it was an okay show, Dave. I don't get all the criticism.
I didn't think it was that bad. The guy that does the commentary on there, he does a lot of the Olympics. He does the
he's on the radio, isn't he?
Yeah, he does the commentary, and he does say some wild stuff. Like he was talking about Frazer Clarke's hairline at one point. So he does say some wild things. But yeah, I've heard him plenty of times before. Like I say, he does the radio, he does the Olympics. No, listen, I didn't look at that show and think, oh, that's shit. No. I didn't. But listen, that's the point. People have got an opinion, and because it's a new thing that and it's not been seen for a long time on terrestrial TV.
Let's bash it.
Let's bash it. Exactly. Listen, we can pick the arse out of most shows. Tony Bellew says classics every week, and contradicts himself. They're all at it. But no, I didn't think it was a bad show. I didn't think the main event was a bad fight. To be honest with you, I thought the main event was, a slobber knocker for a British title. Was there much skill involved? No. Was it just pure guts? Yes. And for BBC Two, usually on a Saturday night, you ain't getting that. You're probably getting songs of praise in the evening or fucking some other shit. So, take it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit over the top, if you like. Right, let's jump over to Birmingham, which I mentioned there. Ben Whittaker, Benjamin Gavazzi knocks him out in a round. It lasted longer than his Dizzy Rascal entrance.
Oh man, I hated that.
I don't know where to start with this because everything I said last week kind of played out perfect. The only thing that didn't play out was the first round knockout. I thought he gets him a lot later. I'm kind of stuck for words because this isn't the name of the show. Dave, was Level Up. It was not a level. It wasn't a level up. Cleveland wasn't level up. This is levels down. Levels down, as I just put there in my banner that keeps disappearing. Yeah. From Liam Cameron. It is. I don't care who wants to tell me or try and sell it to me this is a better opponent because Gavazzi's got 19 wins, 13 knockouts, whatever it was. He's got an ABC belt, which Ben Whittaker was parading around the ring. It's not his fault. That's what the belt was there for. They've gone down this route. You can sell it to the casual. He's just beat a champion. Nah, man. This was awful. This was awful matchmaking in terms of a boxing fan going a certain way. It's good matchmaking for Ben. It's good matchmaking for Eddie because that was a sell to the casual fan. That knockout, that brutal knockout, has gone viral now. So people watching that think, oh, that's Ben Whittaker. Oh, he's a matchroom now. Oh, wow, look at that. Was that a champion he beat? Yeah, he's won 19 fights. Oh, fuck it. When's he fight? I've got to watch that again. Let me just throw in. Let me just throw something in here, Dave, before you come in. I didn't realise this until kind of like fight night or the Sunday. Benjamin Gavazzi had never fought out of Germany. I think he fought in Bosnia or something like that. So that's a major red flag straight away. He fought a guy, I think it was his third or fourth pro fight. He fought him back to back. He couldn't stop him. So he did like 4 rounds in the first fight, 4 rounds in the second fight. He had 8 rounds against this journeyman guy who's still active today, by the way, and he's fighting next week over in Germany. His name is Alexander Kuvak. When Ben Gavazzi faced him, his record was 11-52. 11 and 52. His record now stands at 14 and 113. He's been knocked out 80 times.
Yeah.
Yes, knocked out 80 times as to date. He'll probably get knocked out again next weekend. Now, this is a guy that's gone in with him over eight rounds and couldn't floor him. And you're trying to tell me this is great matchmaking against a champion. Now, I know he's moved on since then. And we kick on from here. Yes, we do kick on from here with Ben Whittaker, but it needs to be a level up.
Yeah.
British level, international level, world level, like maybe in the news. He's been obviously, let's get it out. He's been mandated to fight Joshua Buatsi, and you can see from Eddie's interviews, he's shitting himself because it's far too early. But that's not what we're sold, ladies and gentlemen. We've been sold. This is the guy. He's got the social media present. He's got the looks. He's got the, the stuff on the mic. He's got the showboating. He's perfect. He's perfect for British boxing. This is the next Naseem Hamed. Not only can he do all that, he can knock people out. He can dance and he can fight. Brilliant. Short on Saturday, whatever. That's what we're being told. Now act on it. But you're not going to act on it. We can see what you're doing. It's a great build to get yourself in a certain position, but unfortunately it's come too quick. So now we're going to step down again from Joshua Buatsi. We're going to look at Alexander Kudaks.
You said you were lost for words, mate. What happened?
I'm a Ben Whittaker fan. I want him to do well, but don't sell me this shit and try and say this is a level up, because it's not. This is a levels and levels and levels below Liam Cameron. It just is. No one can convince you otherwise.
No, I don't disagree with anything you say, but I do. I did like the performance for however long it lasts, and I'll tell you for why. I predicted that he would do all that silliness again that I absolutely hate, where he'd be tapping him on the head, doing all that. He went out there and he blasted him out, and I liked that about the performance. Yes, it was short. Yes, but the opponent, I'm with you, is shocking. Shouldn't have been anywhere near Ben Whittaker. Shouldn't have been sharing a ring. Couldn't lace his boots. That's fine. But I do like the fact that he went out there and just dealt with it. Put some good shots together, took him out, didn't do all the silliness. So from that point, I find that as a positive. The negative is the opponent, and it can't be another one next. Listen, I'm with you. It is in the news. We'll touch on it, but he's not fighting Buatsi next. It's just not happening. So the thing is now, anything other than Buatsi, is he going to get shitted on over it? Even if it is an half decent name like an Aziz or a Lerone Richards or anyone like that. So it's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it does need to be a name of some sort. Next, it can't be another Gavazi. It can't keep doing this building of knocking people out for fun for 2, 3, 4 fights. One, he hasn't got the age for it. He's 28. He hasn't got the time.
But it's been built a different way, Dave. If it was any old Tom, Dick and Harry off the street, couldn't care less. He's been built a different way, that this is the next superstar. You can't be having Gavazis after Liam Cameron's. Liam Cameron's a good level of a fighter. No one's saying he's a world level, even European. He's a good level, probably English/British. This is backwards. I don't care if it's Matchroom's first. We've all seen him. I saw the Fight Disciple saying that the journey starts now. No, it doesn't. The journey started after the Olympics. The journey started when he done all the showboating and the knockouts. The journey started when he went to Saudi and gassed out and then jumped over the ropes and come back and done what he had to do to Liam Cameron, what he should have done the first time. And you've made a point there, mate, that how you liked the way he went and blasted Gavazi out. Do you think, I was going to ask you this anyway, do you think the last 2 performances he's gone out fast, looked for the knockout and got him? Do you think he struggles in terms of gas tank? Do you think that Liam Cameron, because remember that first fight against Liam Cameron, he kind of gassed himself out, run out of ideas. It's like he went pillow-fisted, didn't know what to do and took a way out. Do you reckon he might struggle with the old gas tank, mate?
Well, possibly.
Get him out there, get him out quickly. I've done my job then. Fake fuck.
Yeah, possibly. But it's not really the way to go. You've watched enough boxing yourself. It's not the way to go, because he's going to come across people that ain't going to fold and are going to take him and are going to, go show the dog bite down on a gum shield. It is a concern because he hasn't had that since the first Liam Cameron fight. So is it playing on his mind? Possibly. If it is something that is, he needs to put that to bed, and he needs to, because it will come. So and then we'll find out what he is really made of. Because he ain't getting knockouts in 1-2 rounds in every fight he's going to be in. But going back to, it just needs to be a name next. Nothing else will do. Eddie Hearn will do what he likes anyway, because he doesn't care what anyone says about him, and he just does whatever. But he wouldn't have liked the fact that Buatsi's been thrown into the act now, because anything he puts up now that isn't Buatsi, he's going to get fucking slated for. Also, just before we move on time-wise, if there was to take the Buatsi fight, remember Eddie says, I work for fighters. So if Ben wants it, you have to deliver. If he won't deliver it, he'll get somebody else.
if he does take the Boazzi fight, his preparation going into that, Dave, is Benjamin Gavazzi. You're talking at the yards.
You're right, it's Anthony R 2.0. Exactly. It's the worst. But like I say, he's a couple of fights away from
prep ever.
He's a couple of fights away from being at Boazzi's level anyway, regardless of whether you think Boazzi is on the downslide, and he possibly is. But he's nowhere. He hasn't fought anywhere near that level of opponent, and he's 2-3 fights away from being a Boazzi opponent anyway. For me, you can't have 3 more Gavazzis. It has to be 3 names leading to that. Otherwise, we are in yard territory where, he'll start fast and then he'll fade late on because he's never been in the trenches like that. Because the first time he did it, he flipped the ropes. So he's had no preparation. I'm a big advocate for rounds. I've said this to you before. I say it most weeks. And Ben Whittaker's no different to anyone else that I believe that for, regardless of how talented he is. Because when the shit's hitting the fan and you're in round 10 in the championship rounds and you haven't been here before and there's a guy that's on your chest, that's when you really know what you're made of. And he's not been in them trenches yet.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Going forward, mate, Eddie Hearn, please it's not going to be Boazzi. We don't think it's going to be Boazzi. Give us another British level decent fighter that's going to ask him questions and give him rounds. That's all we want. It sounds like I'm shitting on him. I'm not. I'm shitting on Eddie Hearn and Matchroom.
And if he does get these names and blast them out, then fair play. Fair play.
There you go. There you go. Then he looks like he's the real deal going forward. I can't take nothing out of that. Sorry.
No.
Gavin Gwynne, Cameron Vuong, part 3. Anyone I've put there. We just saw the second fight, Dave. Majority draw. Opinions all over Twitter, and that split again. I thought this was the same as the first one. I did. The difference I saw here, Dave, was Gavin Gwynne started a bit faster than he did compared to the first fight. I had Cameron Vuong winning 6-4. I thought Gavin Gwynne's work was very one-dimensional. Yes, again, we talk about gas tanks. Comes strong latter part, but he started fast this time, comes forward, throws loads of shots, accumulation of shots, bam, 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 bam. But because we're in a sport where there's no universal scoring system, it's subjective. Now, I'm watching that style. It's effective. It's pushing Cameron Vuong back. Yes, he's having success. And I'm looking at Cameron Vuong, how he's retaliating. He's boxing off the back foot. He's also coming and countering. He's landing nice combinations, a few hooks, scoring, clean and effective work. Now, to reach those 3 minutes, I've got to pick what I prefer. Remember, no universal scoring system. It was a very close fight, because it's a draw. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going for Cameron Vuong. Can't split them. It's about what you like. This is a pick and fight. It's about literally what you like, because there's an argument there for Vuong winning. There's an argument there for Gwynne winning. Yeah. There's also an argument for a draw.
Yeah. I've got no issue with a draw. I really haven't. I don't think many people have. It was a close fight. I think the problem that Cameron Vong's got, yes, he's the better boxer technically, and he throws, he does throw the cleaner, the better work, and Gavin Gwynne is the one that's got the engine.
Correct. Better work.
He does, and he's a lot cleaner. He's a lot crisper in his shots. No problems with that. My problem is I don't think he's got the power to earn Gwynne's respect. And I think that's an issue for him, because Gavin Gwynne can take anything he's got all night long and just keep pressing him, which makes the fight close.
Yeah.
Which makes the fight close. If Gavin Gwynne has to think about his work before he goes in because he might get caught with a shot, you see a totally different fight. Gavin Gwynne can pour forward because he doesn't respect the power that's coming at him, and that's the biggest problem Cameron Vong's got, and that's why this fight you could do, like you said there in the.
I don't want to see a third, to be honest.
I think for Vong's career, Vuong just needs to move on now, and go a different route, and just
same with Boston and Fawaz.
Exactly that. There's just certain fighters that you just because they could have 10 fights and they'd all be like this. It'd always be to-ing and throwing. And for me, the biggest problem that Vong's got is power. Listen, not everyone's got that one-shot equalizer where you can change a fight. That's fine. So some skills pay the bills, and that's fine. But he can't keep Gavin Gwynne off him, which is where Gavin Gwynne clocks up rounds. Because when it comes to boxing skills and setting up shots and delivering shots, Vuong beats him in every department, but he can't keep him off of him, and that's his biggest issue for me. That is his biggest issue for me. And like I say, now he just needs to move on. They're in their different trajectories in their careers. He would take a lot from this, and it could have took a lot out of him as well, because he was having to dig deep in the 2 fights he had with Gwynne, but it could be invaluable going forward. If those styles make fights, and that's fine. So, you'll see the better, with Vuong better when he's boxing at range, when he hasn't got someone on his chest. Is there a blueprint to beat Vuong? Possibly, with a type of fighter, because let's face it, there is better fighters than Gavin Gwynne. Gavin Gwynne's a good fighter, but there's better fighters out there that has got his style. That could be an issue for Vuong going forward. But it's all learning for Vuong at the moment, and he's learned a lot from these fights, but he needs to move on now. But yeah, I think he need, like I say, my biggest thing for Vuong is earning respect. If he'd have earned Gavin Gwynne respect in the 2 fights, it could have been a different fight. Gavin Gwynne wouldn't be pouring forward against a puncher.
Yeah. I think this year, Bostan and Cameron Vuong, 2 kind of names that have been pushed forward to go and do major things in World Honours. It's kind of just a little bit of a road bump, if you like, this year. But it's not over. It's not over. We've got 2026 going forward yet. You know, things can change. Different opponents, different styles, different camps, whatever. Yeah. It's a good learning curve for both of them.
It is.
It's not over. But obviously, I'll put there part 3. Definitely not. I think I've seen enough of that. No. To be honest, because it's going to go the same way for, I think, both fights. You know, you're going to get the same person win all the time.
10 times over, it'll be the same type of fight.
Yeah, it's rinse and repeat all the time. Just before we move over to Rotterdam for its fucking worth, I thought Molly McCann had stopped this girl. I didn't even do any homework, so I was quite ignorant. She was 1-0, a bit like Molly, but we know Molly's background. Won every second of every round.
Yeah,
I mean, she was tough, that Ebony Cotton. She got tough, but she couldn't kind of fucking dent her. She just kept coming forward and forward and forward. No fundamentals whatsoever. No. She's come from a fucking dancer model background. Never heard of her. Didn't know anything about her. I just kind of poo-poo because I want to know. So I just want to say, I did say that Molly would knock you out. I was 100% wrong. I've got a respect for you there because you took everything she threw at you. But it was quite chalk and cheesy, wasn't it, for Molly and her opponent, to be honest, mate. But but Molly's got a future, even at 35. I think the way that she sets her shots up, what she does, you can tell she's been in the fight game all her life. I can see going forward. You know, I spoke about TMA rating earlier, going for the vacant British if that's available. You know, going down live, I can see Molly McCann, Tyson Gallagher going forward on a Matchroom show. It's perfect. I think Molly's can do something before she hangs up the gloves or the MMA mitts or whatever. You know, going forward, mate. Absolutely. Fury's Fury. Hughie Fury, I'm talking about. Michael Webster in Rotterdam on the undercards. Lasted a round, both traded. Michael Webster didn't like what was coming back of him. Said to the ref, no more, no mass. It was over. Hughie Fury was fuming, apologised to the crowd. I kind of feel sorry for him a little bit, Dave.
I do.
He's trying to rebuild. He's been poorly with skin diseases. He's had long COVID. He's stopped, start, in, out. You know, don't get me wrong. He's got paid for Saturday night, a couple of quid in the bank for Christmas time, but he spewed it, Michael Webster, didn't he? Did you think?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It's a disgrace, man. People pay money to go and see these shows, and you know, I'm not saying it's a disgrace. And not only that, it's a disrespect. This is the Fury. They put a camp in for this. They've paid sparring partners. Yeah. They've done all that, and then for him to spew it after a round, it's a joke. And like I say, but the only problem, this is the problem you're going to have when you're fighting in Rotterdam and doing all these things. You're going up against these guys. I know his options may be limited at the moment, Hughie Fury, and he's not on a massive sort of stable or platform. He's on a massive platform with the zone, but is he as if you know? Mate, sorry to interrupt. That was on the same time as the BBC card and the Ben Whittaker card. No fuckers watching it. No, I know. And like I say, and probably a good thing really after what Webster done. So but it's been frustrating for us as fans. It's frustrating. It must be frustrating for the Furies because you're really pissed off with that. After one round, after everything you put in, you know, they train hard. These guys, you know, they put their life and soul into it, and to go all that way for that, you'd be, it's no good for anyone, mate. So I feel for Fury in that one. It's not like you can take from it. No, it's not. I've just said just what I said earlier, mate. When I mentioned about Jeamie, TKV and Richard Riakporhe. I mean, Fury's fought at a much higher level than both of them put together. Don't get me wrong. Richard Riakporhe's fought for a world title. He's won a British title, should I say? But obviously, Fury's fought at the time Pulev, Povetkin, and Parker. So I mean, I'm talking about world honours at heavyweight. Sting him in the mix. He's not. He ain't a bad fighter, to be honest. Hughie. I don't think he's never been stopped. I don't think he might have been dropped against Pulev once, I think. But apart from that, he can be a little bit of a tough night's work, especially at this level. So, again, hopefully he kicks on, mate, in 2026. Performance of the weekend, before we do a bit, Dave McDonald. Which way are you going, brother? I'm going to go Fran Hennessy. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, Fran Hennessy. That was a great performance from her. Really good. Yeah, I think I'll echo your thoughts, mate. If he wasn't hurt, it'd be old TKV because he wasn't expected to win. Even though the performance wasn't, sweet science or craftsmanship or IQ, he done exactly what he needed to do. He played, Frazer Clarke played into his hands and he kind of delivered his game plan. And he's got something that never could be taken away from him, mate. British champion.
Correct.
I mean, that's an amazing belt to have, an amazing achievement, and fair fucking play to him.
Lord Lonsdale is right round his. I was going to say around his waist. Then
never be taken away from him, mate. It's amazing. yeah. They have to extend up, but when you used to get a screwdriver and make a hole in your belt.
Bless him.
But, yes. So now for David McDonald and the Dongs. This is fucking weird. This right. So the WBC have declared 140-pound champion Subaros Mateus is not guilty after he tested positive for trace amounts of Osterin in his system. His title defense against Dalton Smith will go ahead on January 10th, but Mateus will be placed on probation for 1 year and undergo further testing between now and the contest. So he's been found not guilty, but he's on probation, for a year, and then undergoes further testing because obviously, for a year between further testing between now and the contest. Who's made him not guilty? Where's the judge? Where is all this? And he must be found guilty because he's on probation. It's like me finding you not guilty for smacking someone in the eye, but saying you've got to do 30 days community service up the road there for smacking someone in the eye. Talk to me, Dave. It makes no fucking sense.
It's drug related, isn't it? So I'm kind of stuck for time at the minute because I've got to go to work. But it's the WBC. Was it the WBC clean boxing program? Associated with VADA, failed his test. Apparently there wasn't enough. What was it? What was the drug? Was it Osterin? You've got to find in your system.
Yeah.
So it's on the banned list, but apparently you can have so much of it in your system, and it's okay. So he's been found not guilty because he's not passed the threshold, which is okay if you're going by the rules. But it's on a ban list for a reason. Anyway, once the fight goes ahead, which is looking like it's going ahead now, if anything happens to Dalton Smith when he's touch wood, nothing does happen to him, gets paralyzed about a vegetable or anything like that, what's the first thing that's going to happen? It's going to be investigated. The case is going to be reopened. Did he still have that in his system? Now, you're right. He's going on probation, which doesn't make, and I can't answer the question, Dave. The only thing I keep saying is WBC, make up as you go along. Yes, people say, no, they keep saying that. We say it. Other podcast platforms say it. Media outlets say it. They just make up as they go along because they want 3%. That and that's all it is. But what I was saying was, I've took myself off now. What I was saying, so I was going to go into a rant there. It's gone. It's gone.
Osterin, no, you're saying about Dalton Smith. If anything happens, they're going to reopen it, and if there's any traces found in there,
yeah, no, it's gone. I was going on about the probation there.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So with him being on probation, he's still going to be having tests between now and the fight, which that should be doing that all the time. Every fighter should be doing that because we just saw with Joseph Parker having the coke in his system actually on fight night.
Yeah.
Conor Ben with it in his system in fight week or going into in competition. You know, we've seen it with Yanni back now going into fight night this weekend.
Yeah.
So I know it costs a lot of money. Yeah, but I know there's a lot. It costs a lot of money to have tests come back ASAP. Right. But I think something needs to change because fighters are putting their lives at risk anyway. So you're making it worse by having people with juice inside them going into fights and we're not knowing about how many are getting into the ring this weekend all over the world that we don't know. There's juiced up because we're not going to know because people are evading tests, not signing up for tests and not getting results back ASAP. Yeah. Now, I bet there's deaths all over the world in boxing. They're just covered up that we don't know, allegedly.
Yeah.
You know, but back to your original point, mate. It makes zero sense. You're found guilty. Yeah. So you're not found guilty, but you're on probation, which means you are guilty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it because he's found guilty of having it in his system, but now he's kind of there's been an investigation. They found he's got enough in his system, which is allowed. He shouldn't have any in his fucking system.
No.
So, but there again, we can go down a rabbit hole with this, mate, because there's so many getting busted at the moment. What supplements are they taking? You know, especially going into a fight. It makes no sense going into a fight.
No. It
just makes no sense when you're getting paid and you're going for titles and you're putting your career in jeopardy like that. A lot more needs to be done, but yeah.
Listen, with the amount of stuff that we've been doing this nearly 2 years, and the amount of times we've spoken about failed drug tests, mate. If something was going to be done, it'd be done by now, mate.
Boxing doesn't care. Boxing does not care. The fans care, but boxing doesn't care.
No.
It puts percentage at jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly, and it's all about money. But this is fantastic. I love this. Announced Teofimo Lopez will defend his ring and WBO light welterweight world titles against Shakur Stevenson on January 31st. What a way to start the year in New York City, live on DAZN. I'm loving that. That
Super
is a
fight.
great. That's a super fight to start the year off, mate. If that starters we mean to go on, I'm all over that. Which Teofimo Lopez for me boxes to his opponent, always has, and we've said that a lot on here. And Shakur Stevenson's come off a fantastic win against William Zepeda. So this, I'm all for this, mate. I'm all in for this. I love this. This is a bit of me.
Same.
Favorite bit of news in a long time, I've got to say.
It is a super fight. It's one we've been calling for not for years and years, but for a long while for these two to come in the same division, meet each other head on, two different skill sets, elite skill sets, if you like, putting it on the, putting everything on the line, belts involved as well. I'm guessing it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, let's hope between now and fight night we don't get any kind of shenanigans, no failed tests, no injuries, nobody pulling out. Let's hope it's a plain sailing 2026. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I want your thoughts on this, right? You may have seen it, you may have not. Alexander Usyk has revealed he wants to fight Deontay Wilder next. Wilder remains an eligible challenger for the world title as he's ranked in the top 15. Remains an eligible challenger. Yeah, so means he can. It has been confirmed at the WC convention. So, before you come in, the only way I can think of this is that he can turn around and say that he's beat every fighter in his era. For me, that's the only reason it can be. It can be. But it was a little bit strange. I would just never see it. It never even entered my brain to think that Alexander Usyk would fight Deontay Wilder. So I was just a little bit shocked by it. So I thought I'll snap that news and mention it today. But yeah, Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. If that was announced, bang, dun, 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 Sky Sports News breaking. Alexander Usyk fights Deontay Wilder next. What do you think the reaction would be?
Same as us. Boxing fans would be the same as us. Why? Casuals wouldn't give a fuck because they know the name Wilder. Looks like a good fight. That's why people still come out for Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
We always said it. When Fury fought Chisora for the third time for a world title, we all said, well, what's the point in that? He doesn't deserve a world title shot. He's shot. Fury's doing that as a mate, but people come out. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was full. You're not coming out to see that. So the casual fan will be fooled. But for a boxing fan, you're thinking, why? Like you just said. And I was thinking about this last night. It must be a legacy thing in terms of, remember, he's always broke that quartet. He was never in that trio, should I say. He was never involved. He was doing bits and bats down at cruiserweight. It was supposed to be AJ Wilder. It was supposed to be Fury AJ, Wilder Fury. These three were supposed to get it on, but because of purses, egos, splits, all that kind of rubbish, protecting the O, it never fucking happened. We only saw Fury Wilder. We never got the rest. And this little Ukrainian guy's come up and beat them all. And the only one he's left is Wilder. So when I say about Ban Rodriguez, the last of the quartet out of Rungvisai and Kudros and Estrada, is Chocolatito left. That's the only thing I can think of. And he also did say, didn't he? I think reading between the lines that I can't remember the actual terminology he used, but he was saying, "Wait, it will come." I can't remember what it was, but he was saying about being undisputed yet again. So whoever's holding that IBF belt, whether he gets stripped. Was it the IBF or WBO? Whichever one it was, there's contention that he will fight for undisputed yet again. But whether he's doing it as a legacy thing, a keep busy thing, I don't know. But I haven't got a problem with it. Usyk can do what he wants. He's earned the right. Fuck it. So what? We'll all watch it. We will all watch that fight, right?
No,
even though we know it's a one-sided fucking beatdown from the king. We'll be all sitting there thinking, imagine if. It's right though, isn't it? We are.
Imagine it would be red. Yeah, Deontay, we've been poo-pooing him. He can't set his feet to throw this shot, and he pulls one out and fucking and knocks out Alexander Usyk. Oh, fucking hell, there'd be a meltdown, wouldn't there?
Oh man,
it'd be a fucking meltdown.
What's more likely to happen? What's more likely to happen? Jake Paul landing a gift from the gods, or Wilder knocking out Usyk clean?
Fucking hell, I don't know. They're both up there for fucking miracles.
No problem with it, Dave.
No,
that's what he do what he wants.
Yeah, he has got the right to do whatever he likes.
He's due a voluntary as well, isn't he? So
yeah. Chris Eubank Jr. has released a statement announcing that he would take some time out from boxing to address health issues he has been dealing with this year. I've been dealing with a lot of health issues over the last year, what we shouldn't have been in the ring, and it finally caught up with me last month. I will not box again until I'm 100%. For the fans that have supported me through thick and thin, I will do everything in my power to make sure that one day the old me makes a comeback. One, you knew exactly what you get yourself into. You agreed to all these clauses, but like you said there, money talks, bullshit walks.
Wealth over health, baby. Wealth over health.
Yeah, and now this is what's happening. What the worrying thing is, you know, he said last year, so he shouldn't have been in for the rematch. That he's looking at. To be fair, his father was against both fights, but he has to support his son. And
everyone poo-pooed him for that, didn't they? By the way, Dave, they all poo-pooed Senior for it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not good for boxing. This statement's not good for boxing because, you know, we have all the health checks, and I'm sure he passed them all. I'm not saying he didn't, but to have the 2 fights that were at high scrutiny, high scrutiny about rehydration clauses and all this other stuff, to now then have a statement come out like this, it's not good. It's not good. And yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. I see a video where he's in a hospital, but that doesn't look good. Not sure what that's about. Don't know the ins and outs of it as of yet, but it's not great.
It's bad. It's very, very bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So
go on. Sorry, mate.
So yeah. But again, he chose. You said it there. He chose his health over wealth. I hope whatever the damage he's done is not lasting. But yeah, it's not a good look for boxing.
Yeah, move on from that one. I echo everything you said, mate. You can't, you know, he wasn't physically forced to fight Conor Benn or anybody else. It's a lifestyle choice he's made. He signed contracts. The offers were made. He's agreed to them. You know, it's a sorry state of affairs, and the videos you see doesn't look good. But you know, he's 34, 35. He's a man. He can make his own decisions. It's a barbaric sport on top of everything else with the rehydration clauses and things like that. So yeah. It sounds horrible, but it's the only person to blame is himself.
Yeah.
Wealth over health. Wealth over health,
yeah. Moving on. Yanni Beck has delivered a diverse finding for performance-enhancing drug following a VADA test. A caveat to that is that Hezalami Lara will now defend his title against Johan Gonzalez on Saturday. This one shocked me, mate. This one shocked me the most. We've been advocates for Yanni Beck. We really have. We've banged on about him. He's not active. He's a great fighter. Blah blah blah. But he deserves the opportunities. No one wants to fight him. He's being dodged. Blah blah blah. Oh, endless. It goes endless. To then gets a unification fight that we've all been banging on about, and he pisses hot. David Graham, my drugs expert. But this one's the worst of the lot for me, mate.
I'm gutted, man. Yeah. You know when people say about it's worse when it's a fighter that you like, it's kind of true. I didn't see this coming at all. And when I just said there, mate, about Super Mateus going into fight week and he's pissing hot, it just makes no sense. I'm not making excuses for him at all. You know, he's had an adverse finding in his A sample. When the B sample's checked, now let's keep the same energy we did for Joseph Parker. You know, his B sample's got to be checked before we can start making, you know, accusations and calling him a drug cheat and things like that. You know, not just he's one of my favourite fighters, but we kept the same energy for Joseph Parker. Yeah. If he is found guilty, he needs to be punished and he needs to be stripped. There you go. I've said it. That's what needs to happen. If he's taken a supplement or it's a tainted supplement or he's taken something he doesn't know of, you claim strict liability and have your ban halved, right? And then next time moving on, just be more careful about what you're taking and what you're doing. We don't know from Adam, but he might have done it deliberately or by an accident. You know, as long as he comes out and says, and we find out how he's done it, you know, everyone's allowed a second chance. You know, everybody makes mistakes, but that still doesn't make it right. So I am gutted because he's one of my fighters going into a unification fight at the weekend. He's always been about legacy. He's always been about the belts. He hasn't gone for the best fights or the biggest fights. He's always been about, you know, doing what's right in his path. But I'm just gutted, mate, to be honest. You know, I really am. I didn't see this coming. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. I mean, Eric Morales was one of my favourite fighters growing up. I mean, I found out he pissed off. You kind of look at him and you think, how long was you doing it for? Yeah. And I think that the drug that he fell for, Dave, was one for endurance, for stamina. You know, and we've seen his fight against that Australian kid when he collapsed, and I don't know. I just don't know. So let's wait for the B sample. If he is found guilty, he needs to be punished. Like all of them, you know, it's on the ban list for a reason. You should know what you're taking. You all have a list. If you sign up for whatever, WADA, clean boxing program, whatever, that's all I can say. I don't want to be too harsh on him until we actually find out. Like Joseph Parker, Mateus, we just found out it's cleared, and a host of others. Dennis McCann as well has been in the media as well. Don't know what's happening with him. What's happened with his A sample, B sample? Is he banned? Is he shadow banned? Who knows? But it's just another stain on the sport, and it makes it worse when it's somebody that's I really do like watching. You know?
Yeah, I didn't expect that one from him. I thought he was the consummate professional. Listen, I'm not, no one knows that he's absolutely guilty yet. It could have been a mistake. Again, we don't know. But I just never thought we'd be talking about Yannick Beck in the same situation.
Conor Benn, by the way, Conor Benn failed 2 tests, carried on boxing, and now he's been mandated to fight for a world title when the division hasn't fought in since 2022. Work that one fucking out. So there's hope for everyone.
That's about the 3rd time or 4th time you've mentioned my news in statements before I've said it, but we'll let it slide.
It's been a hot week, mate. It's been a hot week for fucking news. Bad news as well.
The WBC have now stripped Terence Bud Crawford of his WBC super middleweight world title due to unpaid sanctioning fees. There you go. That's the root of the cause. Then, when it comes to the WBC, I mean, like I say, they're the wild west for us in what they do, and but as long as you're paying them, you can take liberties. Terence Crawford said, "No, I'm not paying you. Go fuck yourself." And now he's been stripped. So yeah,
great bit of news, fantastic bit of news. You would think, though, on a serious note, you would think there would be some sort of legal contract where that 3% has to come out of that fight. I know it doesn't come out of the fighter; it comes out of the promoter. But Terence Crawford, he hasn't got a promoter, has he? He's freelance, so he kind of promotes his own fights, if you like. He manages his own fights. But I'm so glad of that. He's basically said, "Why am I giving you £300,000, $300,000, whatever it is, for that piece of shit?" Yeah. He's won the belt. Now but he couldn't care less. He's gone into boxing folklore now. He's got his legacy. Doesn't matter whether you take the belt off him or not. He became the undisputed champion at 168. Yeah. And he's not paying it. £300,000 for that. And that's just him. Canelo has to pay that, Dave. Do you remember it's 3% for both fighters?
Yeah.
So
but he's got 4 belts. Do you know what I mean? If he's paying $300,000 for each one, that's 1.2 million out of his money.
The other sanction bodies haven't said anything yet, whether he's paying them or not. I don't know. Fair fucks to him. I'm glad of that because they're robbing bastards. You know, they hold everybody to ransom. And the only reason they do it is because we recognise these belts as the number one. And I'll keep saying on here and I'll keep saying on Twitter, #bin the belts. The Ring magazine is the only one. It's the number one belt. No sanctioning fees. One champion, one belt. UFC kind of style. I don't care what, Zuffa boxing and people poo this ain't going to work, that ain't going to work, this ain't going to work, that ain't going to work. Well, WBC and the IBF, they're not working at the moment. They're not working. You get fighters like Terence Crawford, which I think is a good thing, not even paying sanctioning fees. And you know the best about it, because he does bring eyeballs and he brings coin, he'll get mandated to fight for another world title. Or maybe he won't. I remember maybe he's sulking, isn't he, Maurizio Silliman. He had the audacity in that interview you saw on Twitter. He had the audacity to say it's not in the rules. It's not in the rules. We have to go through on Google and to do a bit of digging of all the things WBC have said they're going to do, but have done the opposite, just so it balances their books or makes their business look healthy. He's the last person should be talking about fucking rules, man. Fuck. Exactly. And
we haven't heard this tonight, by the way. This is the first time you're hearing it. The WBC have officially confirmed that at the convention that Conor Benn will be mandatory challenger for Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Right, let's get this out there. He hasn't fought at 147 for 3 years, and he's come back.
Wasn't ranked at welterweight. He's just fought. Sorry to take over, mate, but you know what my rank. He just fought at 160 twice. A 1 loss, 1 win. So that's 2 divisions above his natural weight, if you like. Hasn't fought a welterweight since 2022. Hasn't fought an eliminator to go into a final eliminator to be mandated. Do you know what I mean? It's well, we know why. We know why, because he's the man of the moment. 3%. Yeah. Look at Ryan Garcia's fight for world title. He's going to be mandated for the winner of Barrios and Garcia. Garcia's just coming off a loss to Rolly Marrero, and he's getting another world title shot off the back of a loss. That's not meritocracy. That's not how it's supposed to work.
No, it's not. Listen to the fights that are the mandatories from the WBC convention that was either yesterday or today. So Moses Atuma versus Lawrence Okoli to be ordered for the heavyweight title. Ben Whittaker, Joshua Buatsi, which we spoke about. Hamza Shiraz versus Christian Mbili been ordered due to Terence Crawford being stripped, or however you want to look at it, and throwing it in the bin. Carlos Adames versus Nursultanov. Sorry about the pronunciation. Conor Benn is mandatory to Ryan Garcia Barrios. Puerto Puello as mandatory to Subo Matthias versus Dalton Smith. And Tenshin versus Juan Estrada at bantamweight and a limiter. Listen, like I say, regardless of the political side of it and all the fuckery that goes along with it, there's not some bad matchups there. Should they be made? Do I think they'll be made? Because mandatories, do I think they'll be made? Probably not. I don't see Moses Datuma, Lawrence Nicoli. I don't see that happening. I don't see Ben Whittaker, Buatsi yet. Straz and Billy possibly.
And Billy's been waiting a lifetime. There's no reason why he won't want that fight. He's co-proed, isn't he, with top rank of Eye the Tiger.
Yeah.
So if it goes to purse bids, and Hamza will want that fight as well, that's the only one I can see really 90% going forward. Remember, they're ordered fights, so it doesn't mean they're going to happen. It goes to purse bids and it falls off. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So there's a few decent scraps there, should they happen.
Yeah.
I know you've got to get off to work, mate. So that is the end of David McDonald. Oh, go on.
I've got just one more for you. Your thoughts on this. Katie Taylor versus Ronda Rousey.
I saw that.
Go on.
Because it was only mentioned as like, would you fight a sort of thing. I've not got into it, but is it a boxing match or is it UFC?
It's a boxing match, as far as I know. It's not in the cage. Well, as far as I know at the moment, from what I've read and heard. So Katie Taylor against Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is a MMA fighter that's got a boxing record of 0-0, but that's not my concern. It's a bit like Usyk. You can go and do what you want. You've earned your flowers. You've earned your belts. You're probably the best female boxer of all time. Get it. My concern is it going to be for a title? If it's a non-title fight, I had the same energy as I do for Usyk and all those other people. Like Chantel Cameron, bless her, she's had to give up a belt because she's not getting the Katie Taylor fight. And the fights that she wants are not over 3 rounds, but that's a different discussion for a different day. So if Ronda Rousey is getting a world title fight based on a record of 0-0, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, this could be a WBC classic. They might give Ronda Rousey a tin can to go and beat up, so then they rank her at number 15, like they did with, well, they didn't even do that with Ngannou. He got to the rankings of 15 with a record of, wait for it, 0-1. Do you know what I mean? That's what worries. That's what I want your opinion on. If it's going to be for a world title, it shouldn't be. Yeah. And if it is, Katie Taylor either needs to be stripped or made champion in recess, because there's contenders out there waiting for their shot. Yeah. Not someone with a 0-0 that's going to bring a few quid to the sanctioning body because it's a massive crossover fight.
No, I don't think it can be for a title. Not only that, Ronda Rousey retired from UFC years ago. Like, say, she hasn't fought for years. I'm not a massive follower of it, but she hasn't fought for years. So not only that, what kind of a fighting shape is she in? Healthy. You know what I mean? She's not active. That's for sure. Don't get me wrong. She may be training. This can only be an exhibition. This can only be an exhibition, mate. And if it is, we take it for what it is. But it cannot be for any type of titles. It just cannot be. More details to come with that one, then. Yeah, I'll let you know if there's anything more on that. So now it really is the end of David McDonald and the Dongs. Thank you, kind sir. We're going to be back tomorrow for stack boxing this weekend. So we're going to bring you an up-to-date version of the prediction league for what it's worth, and obviously our previews going into the weekend. So yeah, mate, let's crack on. I've got to go to work. End of episode 162. I'm not even going to bother clicking the thumbnail there because it's not working for some reason. No idea why, but we still got our content out. So until tomorrow, David boy, see us out, brother. Ben Shalom has stated that Jeamie TKV is the best heavyweight he's ever seen on the inside. On that note, have a good night and enjoy the bloody boxing. See you later, guys. All right.